Hi, we are Jellycode, and today we're going to be discussing Chapter 6, our Power Up section. Now, how does our Power Up system work, you might ask? Well, our Power Up system only happens every wave. It ends when a wave ends, when your character defeats all the enemies in the wave, and then go. And you might be wondering, how does it work? How does it check when there's no enemies? Well, we've covered that topic in our chapter 3, level layout, and how our wave spawn mechanic works. And in this chapter, we're gonna be talking about the additions to that chapter and basically completing the player wave spawn mechanic with our power up system. So they call each other from 1 to 1, and then it goes back and forth until the player dies. So let's check that real quick. So first of all, we have a reward manager here in our hierarchy. Our reward manager checks if there's a reward panel. And let's look at our reward panel. Basically, our reward panel is our UI for the game on our different power-ups. And this basically just checks if there's the HP, the damage, ammo, and fire rate. And each one of this has an on-click event where it only chooses the rewards. Now, let's look at the script for reward manager. So here, where as you're gonna see, it already references our game object, which is the reward panel. And then our audio is gonna be discussed on a later chapter. And it starts with the wave spawner being in the scene, checks if the wave spawner is in the scene or not. And then here, as with the same here, we have increase HP. This increases HP. K0, it increases HP. And damage, increase damage. It increases damage here, as seen here. When it clicks, it goes to case 1, and then here goes to case 2, and so on and so forth. Now, where does this go? Well, first of all, not where does that go. Where it goes is in the player stats, but we'll go to that later after we've finished discussing this. So, rewards panel is set to false because it's now you've already chosen one of the choices, and the wave spawner resumes. So in wave spawner, it resumes the wave and goes back to its normal state where it spawns the enemy. Since it's the new wave, it spawns the new wave, and so on and so forth until the player dies. Now, this is where the magic happens. This is where our player stats are, our power-ups are, and how the script manages to have player level up systems. So first of all is increase HP. This basically just increases the HP of the player and regens their HP when they choose this. So when you're at low health, you just choose this, and then your HP increases. Next is increase damage. Now this just adds 5 to your total damage, which is currently 10, becoming 15. The next wave, if you choose this, then going to 20, and so on and so forth. Then increase attack speed. So we multiply it by 0.9, as the lower it is, the more faster the attacks can be, to the point where it becomes a machine gun at one point. And then next is increase bullet, which increases the bullet count. And so this basically what it does is where the player take damage, which is probably you've seen already. Current HP minus damage amount, and then type of player. This is just an animation which will be covered in a later chapter. And this is when current HP is 0, the player dies. The difference to our die function is that checks for the game over manager, and if there is a game over manager, it just activates the game over screen as the player is the player died already, and the bullet count is in the player controller, which handles shooting and how many bullets there is. So this is our reward menu. Now, I'm gonna show you the reward menu here. So, our reward menu is made of multiple different things. First off is the panel of how it's made, and then the button for it. So here is shown of the UI sprite we used for this, and how it's made up with the button. Now here we'll see the on-click manager, event manager, which shows a 0 to 3 scale based on the switch from the scripts that will be seen a bit later. And it will show there that if we press this, it should increase our HP, and this should increase damage, and this will increase our ammo, and this increases our fire. Now, each one of them has separate buttons with separate numbers indicated to them. We used switch case for this, which will be shown in the script later. And yes, there you go. That's how you make a simple UI in Unity. Now, we're gonna go to chapter 7 now, which is going to cover Now, we're gonna go to chapter 7 now, which is going to cover animations and audio. Well, thank you for listening to Chapter 6. Again, I'm Lances Forles from Jellycode, and thank you very much.